Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Henry Ford. The path to a purpose-driven life is not a smooth, predictable road. It is a jagged trail full of unexpected turns, steep drops, and moments where you stumble and fall. Many of you listening today may feel weighed down by your failures, mistakes, rejections, or dreams that didn't materialize. You might think those moments define you, that they are evidence you're not meant for something greater. But let me tell you a truth that can change everything. Your failures are not your defeat. They are the raw materials of your purpose. They are the tools that shape the unique path only you can walk. Failure is not a final judgment. It is a teacher. It is not a wall. It is a doorway. Every time you fail, you are given a chance to learn, to refine, to redirect. The greatest minds, creators, and leaders across history did not succeed because they avoided failure. They succeeded because they embraced it, studied it, and used it to build a life of meaning and impact. Consider Samuel Morse, the 19th century inventor of the telegraph. Before he revolutionized communication, Morse was a struggling artist, facing constant rejection for his paintings. His dream of being a celebrated painter crumbled as galleries and patrons turned him away. But those failures pushed him to explore new fields. He began experimenting with electricity and communication, driven by the loss of his wife, whose death he couldn't learn about in time due to slow communication. His artistic failures taught him persistence and creativity, which he channeled into inventing the telegraph and Morse code, a system that connected the world. His purpose was not to paint masterpieces, but to bridge distances, and his failures led him there. Action step. After a setback, write down 3 skills you honed during the experience. For example, if a creative pursuit failed, note how it improved your problem-solving or patience. Use one of those skills in a new project within the next week. Or look at Fanny Mendelssohn, a brilliant 19th century composer. Born in 1805, she was a musical prodigy, composing hundreds of works. But as a woman in her era, she faced relentless barriers. Her family and society discouraged her from publishing music, believing it improper for her gender. Many of her compositions were ignored or attributed to her brother Felix. These rejections could have silenced her, but Fanny persisted, composing in private and sharing her work with small circles. Her failures to gain public recognition fueled her determination, and her music, now celebrated, reflects a purpose rooted in creating beauty despite adversity. Action step. Create a rejection log. Each time you face a setback, like a denied opportunity, record it and write one action you'll take to move forward. E.g., refine your work, seek a new audience. Review this log monthly to see rejection as progress. Failure is the compass that guides you to your purpose. When you fail, you are forced to confront what matters most. You are stripped of illusions and left with clarity about your values, your strengths, and what you're willing to fight for. That is where purpose is born, not in moments of triumph, but in the crucible of struggle. Your failures reveal who you are and what you are meant to do. Let's turn to another example. Ignatius Loyola, the 16th century founder of the Jesuits. In his early life, Ignatius was a soldier, driven by dreams of military glory. But in 1521, a cannonball shattered his leg, ending his career and leaving him bedridden. His dreams of valor were crushed, and he sank into despair. Yet, during his recovery, he began reading spiritual texts, which sparked a new vision. His failure as a soldier led him to a life of service, founding the Jesuit order, which transformed education and missionary work. His purpose emerged from the wreckage of his original ambitions. Action step. Reflect on a failure that forced a major pivot in your life. Write a one-page story about how that moment revealed a new direction or strength, e.g., resilience, empathy. Share it with a trusted friend or mentor to gain perspective on how it shaped your path. Or consider Mary Anning, a 19th century fossil hunter born in 1799. Living in poverty on England's coast, she faced countless setbacks as a self-taught scientist in a male-dominated field. Her discoveries of prehistoric fossils, like the ichthyosaur, were groundbreaking, yet she was often dismissed by academics because of her gender and lack of formal education. Many of her finds were credited to others, and she struggled financially despite her contributions. But Anning's failures fueled her determination. She kept digging, studying, and sharing her knowledge, laying the groundwork for modern paleontology. Her purpose was not to gain fame, but to uncover truths about the Earth, and her setbacks shaped her relentless pursuit. Action step. List 3 rejections or obstacles you've faced, e.g., a denied project, a missed opportunity. For each, write one way it strengthened you, e.g., improved your persistence, clarified your priorities. Use this list to reframe setbacks as growth. Now let's talk about someone from the 18th century. Phyllis Wheatley, a poet born in 1753. Enslaved as a child and brought to America, she faced unimaginable barriers. Yet she taught herself to read and write, composing poetry that stunned the literary world. Her first attempt to publish a book in America failed due to racism and skepticism about her abilities. Many doubted a young black woman could produce such work. But Wheatley persisted, eventually publishing her poems in England in 1773, becoming the first African-American woman to do so. Her failures, rejection, prejudice, and systemic barriers sharpened her voice and purpose to express truth and humanity through art. Action step. Identify one failure that challenged your confidence. Write a short letter to yourself, affirming how that experience built a specific strength, e.g., courage, creativity. Revisit this letter when doubt creeps in. Now let's bring it to you. Maybe you launched a project that flopped. Maybe you trusted someone who betrayed you. Maybe you chased a goal and it slipped away. Those moments hurt. They leave scars, but they also leave lessons. That failed project taught you planning, adaptability, or the value of feedback. That betrayal showed you what you need in relationships: trust, respect, or honesty. That lost goal clarified what you're passionate about, even if the path wasn't right. Every failure is a piece of the puzzle that is your purpose. The tragedy is not in failing, it is in stopping. Too many people let failure become their identity. They see it as proof they're not enough, not smart enough, not talented enough, not destined for more. But purpose is not found by avoiding failure. It is found by walking through it. You must keep moving. Take the lessons, adjust your approach, and try again. The only true failure is giving up. Why are failures so powerful? They force you to grow. They demand you think differently, act differently, become different. Success can make you comfortable, but failure makes you hungry. It wakes you up. It reminds you that you're alive, that you're capable of more than you thought. Every failure is a refining fire, burning away what's unnecessary and leaving what's essential. It's preparing you for the purpose only you can fulfill. So how do you turn your failures into the key to your purpose? First, change your perspective. Stop seeing failure as a dead end and start seeing it as a detour. It's not a stop sign, it's a redirection. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? How can I use this to get closer to my goal? Write down the answers. Study them. They're your roadmap. Action step. Start a failure journal. After every setback, write one paragraph about what happened and one about what you learned. Review it monthly to track how failures are shaping your purpose. Second, take action. Failure only becomes permanent if you let it paralyze you. The next step doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be forward. If a creative project failed, start a new one with the skills you gained. If a relationship ended, use the lessons to build stronger connections. Action is the antidote to despair. Every step builds momentum, and momentum builds purpose. Action step. Set a small, achievable goal tied to a past failure. For example, if a presentation bombed, commit to practicing public speaking for 10 minutes daily for a week. Track your progress to build confidence. Third, seek wisdom. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Mentors, friends, or communities who see your potential. They'll remind you that failure isn't the end. Samuel Morse had colleagues who supported his experiments. Phyllis Wheatley had patrons who believed in her voice. You need someone in your corner, someone who sees the purpose waiting beyond your setbacks. Action step. Reach out to one person this week, a mentor, colleague, or friend, and ask for feedback on a recent failure. Use their insights to refine your next step. Fourth, practice patience. Purpose is not a destination you reach overnight. It's a process, a series of choices, a commitment to keep going even when the path is unclear. Mary Anning didn't gain recognition in her lifetime, but her work endures. Ignatius Loyola's vision took years to materialize. Your purpose is unfolding, one failure, one lesson, one step at a time. Trust the process. Action step. Create a timeline of your past failures and successes. Mark how each failure led to a new opportunity or insight. Use this to visualize that purpose is a journey, not a race. Fifth, embrace the uniqueness of your journey. Your failures are yours. They're not anyone else's. They're shaping a purpose no one else can claim. The world doesn't need another Samuel Morse or Fanny Mendelssohn. It needs you, your story, your lessons, your purpose. Your failures are not flaws, they're your fingerprint. They make your contribution one of a kind. Action step. Write a one-sentence statement of your purpose based on a failure. For example, my failed business taught me to empower others through teaching. Revisit and refine this statement as you grow. Let me ask you, what if your greatest failure is the key to your greatest purpose? What if the rejection, the loss, the mistake is the moment that sets you on the path you were meant to walk? What if right now you're closer to your purpose than you realize? Not because of your successes, but because of your struggles. You are not defined by what went wrong. You are defined by what you do next. History is filled with people who turned failures into fuel. Inventors who connected the world. Composers who created beauty. Poets who gave voice to the voiceless. They didn't succeed because they were perfect. They succeeded because they refused to let failure have the last word. So stand up, dust yourself off. Look at your failures not as burdens, but as building blocks. They're the lessons that will lead you to a life of meaning, impact, and fulfillment. You're not stuck. You're not defeated. You're on your way. Keep going. Your purpose is waiting.